Hello. We're going to talk about plantain, Plantago major. Not sure about the Latin pronunciation, but I'm not sure anyone's super sure. Just kidding. Anyways, plantain is this really striking plant. It grows where people walk. The Latin name comes from foot. It's from Europe, from Eurasia, and it likes to grow in places that are compacted. If you look at the root system, like look at that. It's really, really well adapted for super compacted soils. And American Indians and other native people have called plantain white man's footprint. And plantain is one of herbalism's premier first aid herbs for cuts, scrapes, insect bites, and infections. And I have a lot of personal experience with plantain, and so really I can speak from personal experience. Plantain was one of the first herbs I used in a serious moment in my life. I was 19 years old, I was woofing, I was in Tennessee, and I have wisdom teeth, and I didn't want to take them out, and one of them got really infected. It formed an abscess, and my jaw became really swollen. And I was in eastern Tennessee in the mountains. And I was woofing. I didn't have a car or anything. I was scared. I didn't want to have emergency surgery. And the farmers I was with were just chew some plantain, you'll be fine. And I chewed it. In a week, totally healed. Matthew Wood talks a lot about it for dental abscesses. It as something that is really good at sucking out pus from dental issues. And Finley Ellingwood talks about it for dental health as well, saying that if you have exposed pulp, just a little bit of the tincture or juice is really good for removing pain. And so it's really good for that. It's also just good in general for dirty wounds. And it's hard to talk, it's not rationalistic almost. It's there's not a scientific mechanism I can talk about for why it works so well. But you got dirt in a wound, you put some plantain on it, you chew it up, you put it on, you put a Band-Aid on. Next day, there's no dirt in the wound. Endless case histories for this. Matthew Wood in his book of Herbal Wisdom, in his first aid writing, talks about how he knew of an herbalist who was working with this guy who got in a motorcycle accident and had this nasty wound with all this dirt in it, and juiced up some plantain, put it on, and next day there was no dirt in it. And I've seen this with my own eyes, with my own wounds. It just pulls dirt out, it pulls pus out. And then it's really good for insect bites. Really good for pulling out poison from an insect bite. With these wounds, it doesn't just pull it out. I believe that it helps it heal more quickly. So the basic way you work it is you take a leaf, and sometimes it's much smaller. So you take a leaf, chew it up, and let's say I had a wound here. Just put that on, Band-Aid it up, and it works. It doesn't work all the time. It needs to be open. If you have a membrane over the wound, if it has closed up, this is not going to work. What is good for that is calendula flower. Calendula officinalis is really good for. Matthew Wood talks about it. It improves lymphatic drainage from a wound. And it's not good for puncture wounds. For puncture wounds, you'd want St. John's wort. And it's not too good with painful wounds either. For painful wounds, you'd also want St. John's wort. And I'll go into those herbs later in much more detail because they're wonderful herbs. But yeah, plantain, really powerful ally, really great plant, really, really beautiful, and it's everywhere. Super common herb. And super useful for little dings, little scrapes, and infection. The same way it pulls out dirt, it pulls out pus and helps resolve infections. If there's no membrane, if it's not a deep puncture wound, it will work. It needs to be able to get at it, but it does pull out filth. So it's good for 90% of wounds, 95% of wounds. Also not too good with burns, but laceration type wounds. So that's my experience. Not a medical professional, not a scientist, wingnut energetic herbalist, but it really really is effective, and for teeth as well. So, and it even has a signature. So this, like Doctrine's signature looks like a tongue. So some like Rolling Stones shit. So looks like a tongue, and you can tell it has these like lance-shaped leaves with these really prominent veins, and you can pull them out. They are stringy, very stringy veins. So that is Plantain. Make friends with it soon. It's really groovy, really wonderful, and really good for wounds. Really, if you just one herb, Plantain might as well be that herb, because you can use it pretty much more than any other herb for wounds. So yeah, I hope you liked that. Hope it was informative. Hope you get to meet Plantain, and can't wait to talk about herbs next time. All right, bye.